Hey everyone, thinking about Fordax Business School. We've been poring over their website and all the info they've got, like there's their big mission statement, the kind that every school has, and then like actually what the courses look like.
Mm-hmm.
Our deep dive today, it's not about like slapping a label on Fordax. Is it good, is it bad?
Right.
It's more like, what's interesting here? What might make someone listening go, hold on, that part actually matters to me?
Yeah, and one thing that jumps out immediately is Fordax, they're doing things a little differently. See that they're based in Nigeria, but they also have a presence in the UK.
Oh, that is unusual.
Yeah, it's not your typical setup. And their programs, flexibility is the name of the game.
Right. They keep mentioning this blended learning, which I guess it just means mixing online stuff with, a few in-person classes.
Exactly.
Probably pretty handy for like someone juggling a job, family, all that.
Absolutely. Fits into a busy life.
But then there's this note about their MBA, and it's kind of,
Oh, yeah, the non-academic bit.
Yeah.
That's not your typical degree, which makes you wonder, who is this really for?
it's like they're saying, forget the boring lectures. They want interactive learning, bite-sized content, the kind of stuff that fits into a busy life.
Yeah, and that's appealing for sure, especially if you're someone who values their time.
Right.
But here's the thing, does all that, all that fancy interactivity, does it come at the cost of depth?
Oh, good point.
Can you really master like complex business concepts without, some serious study?
That makes me think, if they're so focused on speed and convenience, are they maybe cutting corners somewhere? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I wouldn't be so quick to just dismiss the value of speed. In today's world, things move fast. Getting up to speed quickly, that can be a huge advantage.
True, true.
It's a good question for anyone listening to consider, though. What's the trade-off you're willing to make?
Okay, fair point.
Yeah.
It's all about balance.
Right.
So let's take their professional MBA as an example. 12 weeks. That's crazy fast compared to like usual 2-year thing.
Yeah, and remember, it's blended. So there are online options and in-person options, but there's this interesting detail. Those in-person classes, only on Fridays and Saturdays.
What? Why would they do that?
Yeah, it's like they're deliberately avoiding the typical weeknight class schedule.
Makes you think, right?
Think about your own schedule. Would weekend classes work for you, or would you prefer, the traditional weekday setup?
Yeah.
This scheduling quirk, it might be a big clue about who Fordax is targeting.
Maybe they're going after like working professionals who, they've got stuff going on during the week.
Exactly. People who wouldn't be caught dead in a classroom on a Tuesday night.
Uh-huh. Right.
It all ties back to that non-academic label. They're catering to a different crowd. People who are already out there working need a quick boost, not necessarily a deep dive into academic theory.
Okay, so this non-academic thing, does that even matter? Like, if you're looking at business programs,
Right.
is it about having that degree to put on your resume? Or is it more about the skills you're actually gaining?
That's the million-dollar question. Fordax is betting that, for some people, practical skills, they trump a fancy title.
I guess so, yeah.
But whether that's the right bet for you, that depends on your goals. What are you hoping to achieve?
Okay, so we've got a program that's like fast, it's flexible, seems designed for people who are already busy. But the big question is it enough? Let's dig a little deeper into what they actually teach.
They do talk about their faculty, these expert faculty leaders in their fields.
Oh, yeah, the big names, right?
Right. Which, that's always a good sign, right?
Yeah, makes it seem legit.
Exactly. And they emphasize having a global cohort. So, imagine being in a class with people from all different industries, all different countries.
Oh, that'd be awesome for networking, meeting people from everywhere.
Absolutely. It's a huge selling point for a lot of programs. But then there's this thing that makes me kind of go, really?
What's that?
They say they have a modern and up-to-date curriculum. But my question is, how often is it really updated?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Business moves fast. What was cutting edge last year? It might be old news today.
You don't want to be stuck learning yesterday's stuff. But you know what really stood out to me? Their focus on ROI.
Yes, return on investment.
Exactly. So to ROI is basically like how quickly you earn back the money you spent on your education. And they say their grads see really quick career advancement, which means you get that tuition money back fast.
No, we got to be real here. That's their marketing department talking.
Of course, of course.
While they're focused on practical skills, yeah, that might give you an edge in the job market. There's no guarantee you'll be, rolling in dough right after graduation.
True.
Everyone's journey is different.
Right. So don't quit your day job just yet. But there's this other interesting tidbit. They're actively looking for interns. What do you make of that?
That's interesting. See, to me, that's a sign they're actually connected with businesses out there in the real world.
They're not just all talk, they're putting people in real jobs.
Exactly. So they're not just teaching in the classroom, they're helping students get real experience, which could be a huge advantage if you're looking to, actually apply what you're learning.
Yeah, getting your hands dirty. Okay, but let's talk about the big thing that everyone wants to know about, accreditation. They mentioned ABS and ISO. But are those, like, the gold standard when it comes to business schools?
That is the question, isn't it? See, traditional business school accreditations, those carry a lot of weight, globally recognized. You know what I mean? So it's worth doing some research. What do these ABS and ISO accreditations actually mean for you, for your career, for your future?
Right, especially if you're thinking of working in different countries. They also mentioned approval from the Nigerian Department of Higher Education,
Right.
which I guess is important if you're planning on staying in Nigeria,
Absolutely.
but it might not be as recognized in other places.
Exactly. So, listeners, here's where you got to put on your detective hat. Do some digging. Figure out what those accreditations really mean for your goals. Don't just take their word for it.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got Fordax. It's like the express lane of business education. Fast, flexible, laser-focused on practical skills.
But, there might be a few speed bumps along the way. That non-academic label could make some employers hesitate. And while they talk a big game about career outcomes, nothing's guaranteed, right?
Right. It all comes down to what you're looking for. Your goals, your priorities, what kind of future do you want to build?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've looked at the programs, the accreditation, like the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you make sense of all this? How do you take all this info and actually decide if Fordax is right for you?
Well, Fordax, they seem to have a pretty specific type of student in mind.
Right.
They talk about mastery a lot. Like, it's
Yeah.
not just about getting a certificate. It's about really, understanding and using those business skills.
Yeah, they even have like a testimonial from a founder saying the interactive format, it actually helped them learn better.
Right.
But that brings up a big question for you listening. Does their approach, does it really deliver on that mastery promise?
And that's where your research comes in.
Exactly.
Go beyond the website, beyond those testimonials they pick and choose. Look for reviews from people who've actually, graduated. Maybe even try to connect with someone who's gone through one of their programs.
That's a great idea.
What was their experience like? Did they feel prepared for the jobs they wanted? Stuff like that.
And you can always, reach out to Fordax directly.
Right?
Now that you've got all this info from our deep dive,
Yeah.
you can ask them some really good questions.
Exactly. Like, what kind of support do they give grads? What about job placement rates? How often do they update those courses? Things like that.
Yeah, important stuff.
Those are the questions that'll help you figure out if Fordax's idea of mastery matches up with, your definition of success. Because at the end of the day, what good is knowledge if you can't actually use it?
So true. We've given you the piece of the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Now it's up to you to put them together. Figure out what fits your path.
And remember, no matter what you choose, this learning thing, it's a lifelong journey. Keep that curiosity going. Stay informed. Never stop looking for new knowledge. It's out there.
Awesome advice. And that's it for our Fordax Deep Dive. We hope this has helped you, ask better questions, make a more informed decision.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring. We'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.